Have you ever felt that you know English, but when it's time to speak, your mind suddenly goes blank? You understand movies, you understand YouTube videos, you can even read English very well. But when someone asks you a simple question like, tell me about yourself, your heart beats faster, your palms get sweaty, and your brain starts searching for words that just don't come. If that sounds like you, then today's message is especially for you. Because the truth is, fluency is not about knowing more words. It is not about memorizing complicated grammar rules. And it is definitely not about speaking fast. Fluency is about speaking smoothly, naturally, confidently. And today I'm going to share with you a simple trick that can completely transform the way you speak English. This trick is called asterisk the chunking method. Asterisk sabut sarasvik. Now, before you think this is something complicated, let me make it simple. Chunking means speaking in small, natural groups of words instead of thinking word word. That's it. It sounds small, it sounds simple, but it is powerful. Let me explain why most learners struggle. When beginners speak English, they usually think like this: I want to go market tomorrow. They are building the sentence one word at a time. Their brain is translating from their native language into English. That translation takes time, and during that time, hesitation appears. But native speakers don't think word by word, they think in ready made groups. For example, I want to go to the market tomorrow. Notice something important: a native speaker doesn't build. Native speakers don't take times. Their brain already has pieces stored like one I go to the one tomorrow. These are chunks that when you store and use chunks, your brain doesn't need to work so hard. You are not creating sentences from scratch. You are assembling pre-built pieces. And that is the secret. Now you might ask, how do I start thinking in chunks? Let's break it down step by step. First, understand that English has natural rhythm patterns. What's like, I think that in my opinion, as far as I know, to be honest, the reason is these are not random words, they are common speaking chunks. When someone asks, what do you think about online learning? Instead of building a sentence from zero, you start with a chunk. In my opinion, online learning is very effective. And see how smooth that sounds. That first chunk gives you time. It gives your brain space to prepare the rest of the sentence. That is why chunking reduces hesitation. Now let's talk about fear. Many people are afraid of making grammar mistakes. They stop themselves before speaking because they want the sentence to be perfect. But here's something important: communication is more important than perfection. If your sentence is 80% correct but spoken confidently, people will understand you. But if your sentence is 100% correct in your head and never spoken, it has zero impact. Fluency grows through usage, not through silent thinking. So, here is your first practical exercise today. Choose 10 common speaking chunks, for example. Now, don't just read them, use them in sentences about your life. For example, I believe that practice makes perfect. It depends on the situation. I'm not sure, but I think it's possible. The repeat them aloud, feel the rhythm. Fluency is physical. Your mouth needs practice, your tongue needs repetition. Speaking is a muscle skill. The more you repeat chunks, the more automatic they become. And when they become automatic, confidence appears. Now let's go deeper. Why does chunking work so well? The resistance. Now let's go deeper. Why does chunking work so well? When you were a child learning your first language, you didn't study grammar rules, you repeated patterns. You heard, I want water, I want milker, I want toy, then I want toy, meant I want toy, bind toy, I want toy, and toy. And slowly your brain understood the pattern, I want plus something. For example, I'm looking for my keys, I'm looking for a job, I'm looking for information. I'm looking for my keys, one chunk, money variations. Instead of memorizing 50 different sentences, you master one pattern and expand it. This reduces mental pressure. Now let's address another common problem: translating in your head. Chunking helps you stop translating because when someone asks you a question, instead of translating the whole answer, you immediately respond with a chunk. For example, question, why do you want to improve your English? Answer, the main reason is that I want better opportunities. Answer, the main reason is that I want better opportunities. You didn't translate word by word, you used a ready structure. The main reason is that this is powerful. Now, let me introduce another important technique: shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating immediately, almost at the same time. Choose a short podcast clip, maybe 30 seconds, then play it again and repeat along with the speaker, not slowly, not lazily. Match their speed, match their tone, match their pauses. At first, it will feel difficult, but after a few days, something amazing happens. Your brain starts recognizing chunks automatically. We begin to feel the rhythm of English, and rhythm is everything in fluency. English is not just vocabulary, it is music. When you speak in chunks, your speech becomes musical instead of mechanical. Now let's talk about daily practice. You don't need 5 hours a day. You need consistency. 10 to 15 minutes daily is enough if you practice correctly. Here is a simple daily plan: 5 minutes. Review and repeat your chunks. 5 minutes. Shadow a short audio clip. 5 minutes. Speak about your day using at least 5 chunks. For example, today was quite interesting. One of the best moments was I was surprised by, to be honest. In the end, even if you are alone, speak out loud. Your brain must connect thought with sound. Fluency grows in sound, not in silence. Another important mindset shift. Stop comparing yourself to native speakers. You are not trying to become someone else. You are trying to become a clearer communicator. Even many native speakers make grammar mistakes, but they speak confidently because they speak confidently because they don't overthink. Confidence reduces hesitation more than grammar does. So next time you hesitate, don't say, my English is weak. Say, mean more jump practice. That small shift changes your motivation. Now imagine that after 30 days of daily jump practice, someone asks you to introduce yourself. Instead of freezing, you begin smoothly. Well, let me tell you a little about myself. I come from, one of my biggest interests is in the future I would like to notice how natural that sounds. That is not magic, that is preparation. Fluency is prepared spontaneity. It feels spontaneity. I phase is built through repetition, but it may leave you with one powerful reminder. You don't need more complicated grammar books. You don't need to memorize thousands of rare words. You don't need to speak perfectly. You need patterns, you need repetition, you need courage. Start small, think in chunks, speak in chunks, practice chunks daily, and slowly, without even realizing it, your English will begin to flow. This is just the beginning again. Because in the next part, we will go even deeper into advanced chunking strategies, how to use emotional expressions, storytelling, chunks, and persuasive speaking patterns that make you sound not just fluent but powerful. Now that you understand what chunking is and why it works, it's time to move to a deeper level because basic chunks, like in my opinion, and I think that are only the beginning. If you truly want to sound fluent, not just correct, you need three advanced types of chunks: emotional chunks, storytelling chunks, conversation control chunks. And let's start with emotional chunks. They express feelings naturally. For example, instead of saying I was happy, a fluent speaker might say I was really excited about it. I couldn't believe how happy I felt. It meant a lot to me. I was absolutely thrilled. These are emotional chunks. Notice something important. These phrases are used again and again in daily English. They are not rare vocabulary. They are common patterns. When you learn emotional chunks, your speech becomes alive. This is small practice. De Firesa pun, end of saying it was good. Upgrade it using chance. It turned out to be amazing. It was better than I expected. It was actually quite impressive. You are replacing simple reactions with ready made expressive patterns. That is how fluency becomes powerful. Now, let's talk about storytelling junks. If someone asks you, pay me because they try to invent sentences word by word. But fluent speakers rely on storytelling structures. For example, so it all started when at first I didn't realize that the biggest challenge was in the end I learned that these are storytelling chunks. Most memorize just 10 of these and you can tell hundreds of stories. Let me demonstrate. It all started when I decided to improve my English. At first I didn't realize how difficult it would be. The biggest challenge was speaking confidently. What surprised me the most was how helpful daily practice became. In the end, I learned that consistency is more important than talent. That sounds fluent, structured, and confident, but look carefully, it's just chunks connected together. Now let's move to conversation control chunks. This is where you start sounding truly advanced. Fluent speakers know how to manage conversations. They use phrases like, P, that's a good question. Let me think about that for a moment. That reminds me of something. If I answer that, I see what you mean. You've got a point. On the other hand, these chunks buy you time. Let me think about that for a second. I believe the main reason is notice how natural that sounds. Even if you needed time to think, it didn't feel awkward. This is one of the biggest secrets of confident speakers. They don't avoid thinking time, they control it with chunks. Now, I want you to imagine something powerful. Imagine being in a job interview. The interviewer asks, why should we hire you? Instead of panicking, you begin, that's a great question. One of the main reasons is that I'm highly dedicated. In addition to that, I'm always willing to learn. Over the past few years, I've developed strong communication skills. I believe I would be a valuable addition to your team.
Calm, structured, fluent, again, not magic. Preparation through chunks.
Now let's address a common mistake. Many learners collect phrases but never use them. They read, they underline, they say post, but they don't speak. Fluency is not built through collecting. It's built through producing. So cheers, your advanced 7 day challenge. Day one, learn 10 emotional chunks. Use each in a sentence about your life. Day two, learn 10 story, using them. Day three, learn 10 conversation control chunks. Tell a 2 minute story using them. Day three, learn 10 conversation control chunks. Practice answering random questions. Day 4, shadow a 2 minute podcast clip daily. Day 5, record yourself speaking for 3 minutes. Day 6, say, listen to your recording. Notice hesitation points, replace those pauses with chunks. Day 7, repeat everything confident. After 7 days, you will not. Ice something incredible. Your pauses become shorter. Your pauses become shorter, your sentences become smoother, your confidence increases, not because your grammar suddenly became perfect. And here is something even deeper. Chunking does more than improve fluency. It changes your identity. When you speak smoothly, you feel capable. When you feel capable, you speak more. When you speak more, you improve faster. Confidence creates practice. Practice creates fluency. Fluency creates more confidence, but it's a powerful cycle. Now, let me share one final mindset shift. Stop saying, I want to speak perfect English. But perfect English, start saying, I want to speak comfortable English.
Comfort leads to natural flow.
Perfection leads to fear. Fluent speakers are not perfect speakers. They are comfortable speakers. Their comfort comes from familiarity. Familiarity comes from repetition. Repetition of what chunks? So from today, change your method. Don't memorize long grammar rules. Collect natural phrases, repeat them, use them daily, speak out loud, record yourself, improve step by step. 1 month from now, if you stay consistent, you will surprise yourself, improve step by step. 1 month from now, if you stay consistent, you will surprise yourself improving. Because one day someone will ask you a question, and without thinking too hard, without translating, without panicking, you will simply respond smoothly, naturally, confidently. And in that moment, you won't just be speaking English. You'll be owning it. If you're ready to go even deeper in the next part, we'll explore how to think directly in English without translating at all, and how to train your brain to respond automatically in real time conversations. Because now we are entering the most powerful stage of fluency. We have learned about chunks, you've learned about emotional patterns, you have learned storytelling and conversation control phrases, but there is still one invisible barrier that stops most learners translating in your head. When someone asks you a question, your brain does this step two, and brain does this. Step 2, understand the question in English. Step 2, translate it into your native language. Step 3, create the answer in your native language. Step 3, step 5, speak. That's 5 mental steps. No wonder you feel slow. Fluent speakers skip almost all of these steps. They think directly in English. Now you might say, but how can I think in English if English is not my first language? The answer is simple. You don't start by thinking full complex sentences. You start small. You train your brain gradually. Here's how. Step 1, micro thinking practice throughout your day. Describe simple things around you in English, not perfectly, not grammatically perfect. Just simple. For example, I'm walking to the kitchen. I'm feeling a little tired. The weather looks nice today. At first, it will feel slow. That's normal. Your brain is building a new pathway. Think of it like going to the gym. The first time you lift weights, your muscles shake. But after repetition, they become stronger. Language works the same way. Step 2, situation simulation. Imagine simple daily scenarios and respond in English immediately. For example, someone asks, what are your weekend plans? Without overthinking, respond out loud. I'm planning to relax and maybe watch a movie. I haven't made date, but I might visit a friend. I just want to take a break and recharge. Do not aim for perfect grammar. Aim for immediate response. Speed over perfecting the grammar. Aim for immediate response. Speed over perfection, because fluency is built on response time. Now, let's talk about automatic responses. Native speakers don't invent reactions every time. They rely on automatic phrases. For example, that makes sense. I totally agree. I'm not sure about that. That sounds interesting. Exactly. I see what you're saying. These phrases are automatic. When you master 50 automatic responses, conversations become easier instantly. Why? Because half of communication is reacting, and reactions are chunk based. Now, I want you to imagine something important. You are in a group conversation, people are speaking fast. Normally, you feel nervous, but this time you're prepared. Was someone share an opinion, you immediately say, That feeling, that shift from silence to participation is the real definition of fluency. Now let's move to advanced brain training. There is a technique called rapid response training. Here's how it works. Ask yourself random simple questions and answer within 3 seconds. For example, what's your favorite food? Why do you want to improve your English? What makes a good friend? Describe your city. Which में your city? Which your city? Div your city. No long pauses allowed. This forces your brain to stop translating. It trains instinctive response. At first, your answers may be simple, that's okay. Simple and smooth is better than complex and broken. Over time, aplexy will naturally increase. Now let's talk about fear again. Many learners hesitate because they are afraid of judgment. They think fluent speakers also make mistakes, but they continue speaking. Confidence is not the absence of mistakes. Confidence is the decision to continue despite mistakes. And here's a powerful truth: most people are too busy thinking about themselves to judge you. A fear is often bigger than reality. Now let's combine everything. They ask, so what do you do? Instead of panic, you respond, well, currently I'm working on improving my skills. One of my main goals is to grow professionally. At the same time, I'm focusing on improving my English because I believe communication opens doors. Structured, confident note is something you are using. Conversation control chunks, goal expression chunks, belief chunks. You're not inventing, you're assembling. That is fluency in action. Now let's talk about long-term growth. If you practice chunking daily, if you train rapid responses, if you think in micro English throughout your day, in 30 days, you will feel improvement. In 90 days, other people will notice improvement. In 6 months, you will feel like a different speaker. Not because you studied harder, but because you trained smarter. And here is the final mindset shift I want you to remember forever. Fluency is not a talent. Fluency is not a talent. Fluency is not a charisma. Fluency is not a gift. You are not behind. You are not bad at English. You are simply untrained in automatic speaking. And now you have the system: chunks, repetition, shadowing, rapid response, micro thinking, confidence practice one, micro thinking, confidence practice one day that without takes. And one day, without realizing it, you will be in a conversation. Someone will speak quickly, you will respond immediately, your voice will be steady, your thoughts will flow naturally, and you will realize something powerful. You are no longer trying to speak English. You are simply speaking English. You are simply speaking English. You are simply sympathizers. If you'd like, we can continue even further into advanced persuasion English, how to sound influential, charismatic, and powerful in professional conversations. Because speaking fluently is powerful, but speaking fluently and persuasively is transformational. And there's a big difference between someone who speaks correct English and someone who influences people with their English. Fluency helps you communicate. Persuasion helps you lead, and persuasion is also built on chunks. Advanced speakers don't just express ideas, they structure them strategically. Let me show you how. There are three powerful persuasion structures you can start using immediately: the clarity structures, the contrast structures, the conviction structures. Let's begin with the clarity structures. The conviction structures. When you want to sound clear and professional, use organizing chunks. For example, let me explain what I mean. There are three main reasons for this. The first point is there's a important factor is but imagine you're in a meeting and someone asks for your opinion. Instead of speaking randomly, you say, there are two main reasons why I believe this is a good idea. First of all, it saves time. Secondly, it increases productivity. Notice the difference. Yadi vi chavo chabi tara dresses who us notice the difference yadi. Now let's talk about the contrast structure. This is extremely powerful in debates, interviews, and discussions. Contrast chunks sound like this. Patni me may a distance inspired. Contrast structure, this is extremely powerful in debates, interviews, and discussions. Find like this. On the other hand, while it's true that it's also important to consider, some people believe that these chunks allow you to sound balanced and intelligent. For example, while it's true that learning English can be challenging, it's also one of the most rewarding skills you can develop. You used a contrast chunk. Now, let's move to the conviction structure. This is how you sound strong and influential. Conviction chunks include, I firmly believe that, there's no doubt that, it's clear to me that, I'm absolutely convinced that, one thing I'm certain about is, for example, if Fansa practice is the key to fluency, may I firmly believe that consistent practice is the key to fluency. The second one sounds weak. The first one sounds confident. Same idea. Different Jungkook. This is the real secret of advanced fluency. It's not about bigger vocabulary. It's about stronger patterns. Now let's combine everything into a real life scenario. Imagine you are giving a short presentation about self-improvement. You could say, today I want to talk about improving yourself. Practice is important. Confidence is important. Or you could say, today I'd like to share three key ideas about self-improvement. First of all, consistency matters more than motivation. Secondly, confidence grows through action, not waiting. Finally, one thing I firmly believe is that small daily habits create long term success. Which version sounds more fluent, more persuasive, more professional? Rhythm gives flow, flow gives confidence. Now, let's talk about charisma. Charismatic speakers use emphasis chunks. Now, let's talk about charisma. Charismatic speakers use emphasis chunks. For example, what really matters is the truth is here's the interesting part. What most people don't realize is this is where things get powerful. These phrases create attention, they make people lean in and listen. For example, what most people don't realize is that fluency is not about grammar, it's about automatic response. That sounds impactful. Now, here's an advanced daily exercise. Record yourself speaking on a topic for 3 minutes. Then listen back and ask, did I use contrast? Did I use conviction? Did I use emotional emphasis? If not, rewrite your speech using chunks and try again. Within weeks, you will hear dramatic improvement. Now, let's address one final psychological barrier. Many learners secretly believe I'm not naturally good at languages, but here's the truth. Fluent speakers are not faster thinkers, they are faster retrievers. They retrieve chunks quickly. That's all. You don't need a different brain. And training happens through repetition with awareness. So from today, collect high quality chunks, group them by purpose, practice them daily, use them in real conversations, record yourself weekly, track your improvement monthly. Week even when it feels uncomfortable, because discomfort is growth. And one day you'll be in a conversation that used to indeed be at you. You'll notice something surprising. You're not searching for words. They're arriving naturally. You're not afraid of silence. You know how to manage it. You're not afraid of silence. You're focused on meaning. That is the moment you cross the line from learner to speaker. And when that day comes, you'll realize something powerful. Fluency was never far away. It was simply waiting for the right method. And now you have it.